Hello and welcome back to the Europe Vlogs. This is part 8 and 2 days in one, starting with our last morning on the cruise, which meant saying goodbye to what has been our home for almost a week. I went around and tried filming a little bit of everywhere we had spent time. Obviously the room we shared together, the super comfy reading chairs Naomi and I sat in the library, the pool and the lounges where the three of us spent time together, and the decks where we enjoyed so many great views. We had our last breakfast on board and grabbed all of our things to disembark in Rome. Once we were all off the ship, we said goodbye to Naomi's dad as he headed off to the airport and we headed off on our adventure. The four of us decided to stay extra days in Rome to explore as much as possible. As we were venturing out looking for how to get to where we were staying, this woman came up to us and asked us if we wanted to share the rental of a van that would take us to each of our destinations. While we were discussing the pros and the cons, really there was a lot of pros, not really any cons, I felt this tap on my shoulder and we turned around to look and it was Matthias, and he had a little bit of time in Rome before he had to be back on board, and as he was leaving he saw us and came up, and so we got to have another goodbye, which was really cute. And then we got on the van. We said yes and made our way to where we were staying. We were just so happy to not have to drag all of our luggage onto public transport and risk something happening to it or us. When we got to where we were staying, we rested a bit and then headed to an early dinner at a restaurant that was just around the corner. After dinner, Leah, Naomi, and I headed over to Tivoli, where Leah was hoping to live out her Lizzie McGuire dreams. Unfortunately for all of us, the place we were headed to was already closed by the time we got there, so we just walked around Tivoli and then headed back to the train. And this is where we had our second fail of the day. After we bought our tickets, we headed to where we would get our train, and we did not know which one it was. So while we were discussing, should we get on this train, should we not get on this train that looks like it's about to leave, our train left us. So we bought new tickets and had to wait around for our train to finally leave. This was actually kind of a blessing in disguise because all three of us got to bond quite a bit, and on the way back we actually had the whole train car to ourselves, so we were singing and playing really silly games. It was probably one of my favorite moments. We arrived later than expected, so we all just went straight to sleep. The next morning we got up early to start our most touristy day ever. The first thing on our list was early sunrise at the Spanish Steps. I would say if you ever plan on visiting Rome, go really early to all of these places. The Spanish Steps were pretty empty, and even the Trevi Fountain, which is not that far away from the Spanish Steps, was pretty light on the crowds. After seeing both of those places, we headed towards the Colosseum and the Roman Forum. We got our tickets at the Roman Forum since the line was a lot shorter, and grabbed some refreshments before braving the humongous lines at the Colosseum.
Colosseum, but we're waiting in line. There's a mister. It's hot. Hello, Mom. Hello.
Oh, it's
Hello.
me. It's my phone.
And we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting.
There's pigeons hanging up there.
We had some pigeon friends eating some crackers, eating some chips. We'll see you when we're in, folks. Goodbye.
Here we of course took lots and lots of pictures, and we looked around for some shade where we could sit, and Naomi's mom pulled out a virtual tour audio. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it was really informative, and I'm really glad that she thought to bring that out. I would also advise, if you ever go to the Colosseum, splurge on one of the special tours, like the ones that go on the lower levels. You'll get so much more from the experience than just walking around on the level that everyone walks on. Next on our list was the Roman Forum. Everything there was so fascinating, and my favorite building was this one. It was so grand, and I just really enjoyed walking around and getting to see all these really great places. I also have a fond memory from this place because Naomi and Leah headed off to a different section while her mom and I got to sit and chat in the middle of this really picturesque and historically stunning place. Once we were all back together again, we started making our way back to our home for the next couple of days. We stopped at a store to pick up some gifts for our loved ones before heading to dinner and turning in for the night. In the next video, we will continue our exploration of Rome. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.